how much energy do you have and how much energy do you need? It's interesting because one of the greatest sources of energy is fat. Carbohydrate and protein have 4.5 calories per gram, but fat has 9 calories per gram, and calorie is just an energy measurement, a unit of energy. And that means that fat has twice as much energy, yay, as carbohydrate or protein. So should we eat fat? Do we need it? How do we burn it up? Where does it come from? And why are so many people scared of it? Well, it's even a word that you're not supposed to use. You can't say you're fat. If I said that you're fat, that would mean that you have larger fat cells than somebody else who would, if you call somebody lean, it's because they don't have very much fat in their fat cell. Now, let's start at the beginning. I don't know who counted them, but apparently we've got 40 to 50 billion fat cells all over our body, and literally all over our body. Now, how much fat is in those cells is obviously determined by what we eat. And it's not just the fat that we eat, because if you look at all the macronutrients, alcohol, protein, carbohydrate, and fat, they all in one way, shape or form will end up inside our fat cell if we don't burn them up, which is why I'm in the gym, because obviously if you've got a fit, strong, healthy body, your body burns everything that you put into it. Doesn't matter how many fat cells you've got, whether you've got 40 billion or 50 billion or 100 billion, doesn't matter. They don't have to be big, those fat cells. They can be flat, like a balloon. So if you think about a blown up balloon, it's bigger. A balloon without air in it, it's flat, and fat cells are the same. So it doesn't matter how many fat cells you've got, you don't have to be a bigger person. And if I say that, you don't have to be a fat person, that's not to be disrespectful. It just means that if somebody has more fat in all of their fat cells, they're going to have a body that has excess fat, particularly between their skin and their muscle, which is called subcutaneous fat. Now, that's technically not dangerous either. So you can be a fat person and not be unhealthy. You can be a fat person and not be unwell. You can be a fat person and be very unhealthy and very unwell if that fat is sitting around your internal organs, which is where we don't want to have fat there. So fat is good, bad, ugly, doesn't matter however you look at it, it's a real thing. And if you don't want to have fat sitting between your skin and your muscle, what do you need to do to burn it off? If you've got fat there already, how do you burn it off? And should we be eating fat, not eating fat? And the whole story becomes very, very complicated. So I like to keep it really simple. Everything we eat, as I shared, ends up in one way, shape or form inside our fat cell if we don't burn it up. So for me, the ultimate thing is be fit, be strong, have a fast metabolism, eat whatever you bloody well want, whether it's fat or carbohydrate, or drink alcohol or eat protein, so that you love your life, you love your food, and everything you eat gets burnt up and doesn't end up in your fat cell. So obviously very easy for fat to go to your fat cell because it's already fat. Your body doesn't have to convert fat into fat because it's already fat. If you have liposuction, they take fat out of your body, it actually looks like butter. It looks like solidified oil. It is fat. Carbohydrate and protein, they have to be converted into fat, and your body will do that if it has to. So carbohydrate is the energy for exercise, which is why when I talk about high intensity exercise, I don't ever want to burn fat when I'm exercising, because in the phosphate system or even the lactate system, the energy source is not fat, it's carbohydrate. Your brain uses carbohydrate, glucose, for energy. So if you get really fit and really strong, when you are making your body fit and strong, when you're using your brain, you're using carbohydrate. So your body, obviously you need carbohydrate, glycogen in your muscles, glucose in your brain. But if you don't burn it up, if you don't use it, your body will very happily convert carbohydrate into fat, but it has to convert it. And that process takes calories to do it. So it's an interesting thing to take note that fat's already fat. Carbohydrate can be converted into fat, but it takes energy to do that. Protein's the same, and it's very hard to eat too much protein because protein makes you feel full. So if you add protein to any meal, you end up feeling fuller. It's got a higher satiety index, so very difficult to eat too much protein. Alcohol is interesting because your body doesn't convert alcohol into anything, but it is a preferred energy source because there's nowhere to store it. Your body can't store alcohol anywhere. We talk about a beer belly, or it's not a beer belly. If you put a tap in there, beer will not come out. The reason that alcohol is an interesting substrate or an interesting macronutrient is if you've got alcohol in your system, because it's a toxin, your body wants to burn it off. So you won't be burning fat, you won't be burning carbohydrate, you won't be burning protein, your body will be using the alcohol. So that means that if you have eaten carbohydrate or protein or fat, your body will store that because it's busy burning the alcohol that you've drunk. So again, alcohol doesn't end up in your fat cell, but it can make fat, carbohydrate and protein end up in your fat cell. So everything that we eat in one way, shape or form will sit between our muscle and our skin in subcutaneous fat, or dangerous fat, the visceral fat, which is the fat that sits around your organs. And obviously if your organs are getting squished because there's too much fat in there, that's very dangerous. So being a fat person is not dangerous unless it's the fat around your belly. And the measurement there that's universally recognised, if your waist measurement is more than 100 centimetres, you're in a dangerous situation because that means you've got fat around your internal organs. So can you be overweight? And I won't talk about weight because fat's actually not very heavy. Muscle's heavy, bones are heavy, water's heavy, your heart and lungs and all of that together is probably pretty heavy as well. Fat's not very heavy, it's just very big. So if you want to get rid of fat off your body because you've got too much of it, it technically doesn't have anything to do with looking at this, oh look, I'm so fat. No. Your weight is how much your entire weight is. But if you want to burn fat, you want to have a body that's really good at burning fat, you need a fast metabolism when you're resting. And that's the interesting thing because a lot of people talk about burning calories when they're exercising. But if you burn a fat while you're exercising, you're in the aerobic energy system, which means you're not burning anything very fast because you're not working at 100% effort. If you work at 100% in the phosphate system, you're only using stored phosphates. In the lactate system, you're only using carbohydrate. But what that does is it means your body says, hey, we're fighting and flighting. We've put in a big stack of energy we have to be fitter and stronger for next time. So what we want to do is change what very often doesn't get talked about when we talk about exercise is your respiratory quotient, which is where the calories are coming from at the time. So yes, your body will burn carbohydrate, it will burn fat, it will burn protein a little bit in that aerobic system, and it will burn alcohol if you've got alcohol in your system. So that's your respiratory quotient. I want a respiratory quotient that burns fat really fast. How about you? And that happens when you get really fit, you work at 100% effort, you get puffed, you're putting in a big effort to exercise, your body's only burning carbohydrate or stored phosphates. So then it says, or your body very cleverly says, when she's resting, when you're resting, we need to be burning fat because we need to save the carbohydrate for when you put in a high intense effort. We don't store very much carbohydrate, about half a kilo. So if you say, oh, carbohydrate's making me fat, well, you can only store half a kilo. Yes, your body will turn carbohydrate into fat if you don't burn it, but if you've got a fit, strong body, with a fast metabolism, your body will burn everything you put into it. So then you can eat whatever you want and your body will burn it up. And to me, that's really exciting. So to have a stack of energy, do you need fat? Well, fat's got a lot of energy in it. But if you're going to exercise hard, you need carbohydrate because that's the preferred energy source. So what do I need to eat? And these are my 4 questions. You need to have a stack of energy so you can exercise hard. You want to perform at your best so you can exercise hard and you can work hard and you've got a brain that works effectively and you feel good all the time. Obviously, if you want to look good, you don't want to have too much fat on your body sitting between the lumpy bits that sit between your muscle and your skin. And if you want to get the results that you want from your exercise plan and your eating plan, I think those 4 things are really important. And if you are really fit and really strong, you will have a stack of energy. You will perform at your best. You will love what you see in the mirror. You will love the way your body feels. You won't have visceral fat. You won't have subcutaneous fat. And you'll be getting the results that you want because your body will be giving you what you need. So how about this? If you want a stack of energy, get really fit, get puffed to get fit, get really strong, lift heavy to get strong, and then you literally can live your life to the max, which is why I'm in the gym tonight, living my life to the max. Stack of energy, super duper doo, how are you? Full of energy as always, woohoo!